What is up everyone? Pdaaaawg here, and I'm here with another episode of the Dawggone Truth. And today we're actually going to review a video game. We're going to review WWE 12, which has been out for about 2 or 3 weeks now. I only picked it up last Friday, so it was not, it was not like 2 days ago or whenever I'm going to upload this. It was not like the Friday past, but it was like last Friday. I think it was like still in November whenever I got it. So I'm going to go over it, review the pros and cons. So it's just before I begin, I'm going to give some background knowledge. I have played previous WWE games. I've played pretty much all the SmackDown vs. Raw games. I think I played Here Comes the Pain like years ago, but I can't really remember that much. I don't really remember, but it was a really old wrestling game. But I've played SmackDown vs. Raw 1, and then I played 2006 to 2009, I believe. Played a little bit of 2010. And then I didn't even touch 2011, so I'm jumping back into it with WWE 12 thanks to DSP recommending it. So I decided I might as well give it a whirl. So I do have previous knowledge of wrestling games, so I do know what to associate with. I did like wrestling. I was looking back at it for the past couple of days, trying to get as much as I can. But I still remember a lot of the stuff, and some of the people I used to watch are still in the industry, thank goodness. So we're gonna start off here. Unfortunately, I'm not gonna actually record myself doing because it's going to take way too long. So I'm going to do it like I do the Dose of the Dawgs, but oh well. So let's start off with just, like the Road to WrestleMania mode. This is a new mode that was introduced in 2009, I believe, where what happened was you had to control. In the previous ones, you had to control either one of 6 superstars. I think like it was people like John Cena, Shawn Michaels, Triple H, CM Punk, all those other people, and you would watch and you like play them as they go from like the month of December to WrestleMania in March, I believe. So what you do is you just play that, and then there's a story evolving around it. In this game, they've changed it a bit. Now it's this one continuous story for I believe it's 2 years. I have not beaten the Road to WrestleMania for mine, but I do know how it ends, and I pretty much know all the fights, so I can give enough analysis about it. So in terms of that, there, it's pretty good. Some of the storylines are a bit over the top and stuff, so it isn't really that appealing. But the majority of it's pretty good. Like, the story's fine. Like, the story goes around quite well. The commentary is quite good. I'm going to be pretty critical about this because of my play style. But, depending on how you play your wrestling games, you might differ from my opinions. So Road to WrestleMania, that'll take quite a while. Like, I've gotten quite far in it, so but it has taken me quite a long time, and it has been pretty enjoyable on the way there. So that's pretty. So yeah, that's a good little thing that you could do for like the few hours to get used to the game. The flaws of Road to WrestleMania though are that it like some of the stuff in it is completely ridiculous. Like there's so many backstage brawls, which is just stupid. Like in a normal WWE program, you would never see like 500 brawls in like a month. It's pretty stupid. Like in every single show you're in, you're almost in a backstage brawl, and that's really like not only is it really like confusing because you wouldn't even see that in a normal WWE program, but also it's like the gameplay of it is pretty bad. It's just not very appealing. Yeah, some of the like I said, some of the plot lines are absolutely ridiculous, and you wouldn't really like them that much. Like it's shameful. So, but the majority of the time, it is an enjoyable experience. You will enjoy it. If you're a fan of wrestling, you would enjoy it, of course. You've also got WWE Universes, I believe, this is the second year, is that, and it's almost like it's almost like a simulation mode. It's a bit like General Manager mode, except you're not controlling everything. The game controls everything for you, but you just simulate what happens, and you have all these unique cutscenes going on. So, for example, you could go on WWE Universe and find all kinds of like you could decide who you want pushed forward for like championships, who you want to be champions, what teams there, or how many like stables there are or staples there are. You can even create your own like WWE network and give it an arena and stuff. We'll talk about that later. So it's really customizable. There's a lot of customization in this mode, so you can mess around this for a very long time. So it is a pretty strong mode you can do. Obviously, you're not going to play every single match of the whole year, so you're going to simulate a load of them. So that's what I'm doing. I started playing a whole bunch of them, but then I was like, it's getting kind of repetitive, so I decided I was going to simulate them. The good thing about playing them though is you'll get, the unique cutscenes I was talking about, where what happens is you would do something and then something crazy will happen. Like it'd be a normal WWE thing. For example, somebody could like be sitting at the announcement table, and then whenever the match is over, he might rush in and beat you up. Like if you win. Also, you can decide who you want to play. Like it's not like Road to WrestleMania where you have to play somebody. In this one, you can just skim around, decide who you want to win. Well, if you want the person to win, you'll have to play as them and win. You can also like if you're not satisfied with a card, you can edit it and like edit the superstars that are playing in it, or even edit the match. So that's a really interesting mode. Like WWE fans would also love that, just because like it's almost like you're heaven because you can actually simulate what you want to do in a in a WWE program. So it's pretty good, pretty strong. So that's a really good mode. You can also import your creative superstars there, which is also quite good. You got the regular play function, which is just like every other thing. There aren't really any new match types at all, but they have tweaked quite a lot of it. For example, things like tables can be broken very easily. Like if you suplex someone beside a table, the table will break. It's not like other WWE games where the table will like glide across the ring while you do your suplex. Like the physics is actually still really good in this game. So that if you do something quite near someone, then the table will break or something out there. Like the ladder will break, or the guy might hit the steel chair and it'll do a bit more damage. So you can actually feel like the impact of your moves is actually felt. Sorry about that. Extreme rules is still the same. Like you've got your little wheel of weapons that you can go around, which I think is pretty good. Like I can't really talk from SmackDown vs. Raw 2011 because I didn't play that. So pretty much a lot of the stuff is still pretty interesting. You've got the 40-man battle or the 40-man Royal Rumble now, which is pretty interesting again. Nothing really else has changed. One thing I would have liked to have seen was a Survivor Series elimination tag match, which they still haven't put in. That's probably because the total player count is still 6 in the ring as a whole, so you can only have 3v3. But I mean, like the Survivor Series match is 5-on-5, I believe, or 4-on-4. So it really isn't that big of a difference. And even then, it's a tag match, so like nobody would be. So like you're not gonna have all of them in the ring as well, like all at once. And this is like a tornado tag, which it never is. And also that could be a reason for like the Royal Rumble, because Royal Rumble is still the maximum amount of people 6. So it's, it's still good, but I mean there are a few game types that could be there. Oh my goodness. Creation mode is completely off the charts because you can do all kinds of stuff. You can create your superstar. One slight stupid problem there is though is the fact that you can't really customize what normal hair you want. Like if you want a superstar of black hair, then you'll have to black isn't actually that bad because you can just scroll down to the very bottom right or something and then you'll find black. But if you want something like brown or blonde, then you'll have to really do some really crazy tweaks because it doesn't actually come with a customized set. Like the customized sets that do has are like red, blue, green, pink, and they're like the boldest of colors you could ever see. So it's really stupid that you can't have any like realistic hair colors in it. Apart from that, graphics is still really good as well. That's another thing. Creating entrances back, but now you can actually create your own your own entrance video, which is pretty good. Because you can use the highlight reel, which is whenever you look over like a match, and you can like pick out stuff from it, and then you can use that in your own entrance video. Another thing is it actually comes with customized music, so rather than having to use somebody else's theme or having to import one or just using no theme, it actually comes with a couple of them. They're okay, like some of them are pretty bad and cliche, but some of them are alright. Moveset's pretty much the same. We got a bunch of other stuff like the comeback feature, which is whenever if you get beat up enough and if you get injured, you'll do some crazy comeback like John Cena or like Triple H and stuff always do in their matches, or Randy Orton's another one. That's in it. Your new create a finisher move is now from the top rope, which I think is pretty cool. I don't know what else I could do now because I've got like standing versus standing from the top rope and not the turnbuckle. I guess the next one could be a ground. Sorry for the coughing, by the way. Could be like a ground finisher, but I mean like there's nothing really else you could elaborate from that though. So I do think they've like once they do the ground finishers, and that's pretty much it. But they do not have a ground finishers in this. It's still pretty good. Creative story was actually one of my favorite ones. They haven't really changed it that much, and it's just the same as what it normally is, which is whenever you get to like customize the story and put the text in and situate your own matches and create your own storylines pretty much. And then you can upload them onto Xbox Live and then people can download them. I'm currently working on one, but it's quite a big one, so probably won't be done yet. Create an Arena is a brand new one where what happens is you can like put logos and letters and stuff on an arena and change the color of like banners or turnbuckles and all that there. But it's all like it's okay. It's not very crazy, but you can use it for like your customized pay-per-views, is what I was talking about in the WWE Universe mode. So that's a pretty neat feature you can do. Create a logo is a new one as well, where you can like put it in either like a tattoo in your highlight or in your entrance movie, you know, in your arena as like the main logo for your customized WWE program. So it's pretty interesting, but I mean it's really hard to use as well. Like unless you have like some sort of virtual virtual like drawing pad, I don't think it'll be very easy to do. Like now, majority of your stuff will be like squares, which is kind of annoying. But some people have done some like excellent drawings. So, but I can't do it. I suck at drawing. In the highlight reel, a neat thing with this one is you can actually look at your match highlights. Is play play at the back of your play at the end of your match, or either play at the end of your match, or you can at the very end of your match you can actually look over every single individual moment. For example, if I was playing a TLC match, you could have maybe busted your opponent wide open, you got busted wide open, put your opponent through a chair, hit them with a steel chair, and like do a finisher, do a signature move, fall off a ladder, and then eventually like, grab the title from the top. And then you can pick out those moments and put it in your highlight reel, or you can save them and upload them on the Xbox Live, which is pretty another neat feature that they included. Xbox Live, that's pretty much all for creation, but I mean, now there's a lot of content you could do. Xbox Live, you can play online matches. I haven't tried that out yet, but really, I don't like playing online on a wrestling game, so really, I can't judge that much. I do like playing it like locally, like if a friend comes over, then I could play it with them. But apart from that, really, not really much point of having that there. Apart from customizing your own stuff and uploading it, for example, having wrestlers there, like, you know, legends or people from TNA or Ring of Honor, having those their guys, and you can download them for free, put them on. You can also download really expensive like costumes and stuff and other wrestlers. I think it's pretty neat. What other thing is there? I think yeah, you can just upload stuff, download content from more like, you know, like Batista's been announced to be in this game as DLC, which I think is pretty cool feature. Options is just options. You can decide who your title holders are in exhibition matches, decide the difficulty that you want your opponent to be in, all that jazz. And the WWE shop is where I was talking about, you know, where you can buy your WWE merch. Alright, so pros and cons overall of this game. The pros are that the graphics are pretty good, which isn't exactly the biggest pro there is, but it's still a pretty neat thing. You actually unlock a lot of content from Road to WrestleMania, but you can buy all the stuff. That really, what's the point in that when you could actually earn it? The actual combat itself is a pretty good thing, but I do have a few complaints about the combat. Like some of the games I have played, like some of the combat's really wonky, but I mean some of the stuff they did use was pretty smart. And like these are games like Smash Bros. 2007 or 2008 was pretty bad, but 2007 was a pretty good idea as to what the main mechanics of the game should be. 2006 was another one, like yeah, Smash Bros. 2006 is another game that kind of used the right mechanics. So I'm gonna go over a few mechanics about the gameplay, and I'm gonna talk about why some of them are good and some of them are just no. Some of them that are good, like I said, like the physics of actually, yeah, putting someone through a table or hitting them with a chair. Like the chairs are finally black, thank goodness, rather than blue, which is what they were like years ago, like a decade ago. Maybe even more than that, I don't know. So generally the physics is better. Like the ropes move and stuff a lot more. The ropes are a lot more significant. Things like the Royal Rumble move a bit more smoothly. Like you can toss some people over the top rope and you have to initiate little like button games. I think they're a pretty neat feature, but you know, it's not exactly the best features that you could have. Like the superstars whenever they fight move a lot more smoother, but they still look a bit robotic, which is annoying. But I don't think you can do that much about that. things destroy a lot better, and like if you destroy something like a table, it actually stays in the ring, which is pretty good for a very long time. Until it was obviously if you destroy about 500 tables in your ring, then it's not exactly the best to having all these like scraps going around. But it does like disappear after a while. But still having it lying there for quite a long time is really good. Some stuff such as the blood features are really good, which is blood's originally turned off, but you can turn it back on like as soon as you go to the options. But if you hit someone with like steel steps and they start bleeding, they'll start off as a little cut. But if you keep on focusing on the head, the blood patch gets a lot bigger. An example of this is I was playing Edge against John Cena in a last man standing match. I busted Cena open, and then it started off as a little trickle, but I kept on doing stuff like I was hitting him with like DDTs and stuff. I like hit him with more of the steel steps and like the steel chair. And then after a while, by the end of the match, his face is like almost completely bloodied and like there's blood in his chest. And I thought it was a really neat feature. And like both the characters were pretty sweaty, which is not as attractive, but it was a pretty nice add-on to the game. Makes it feel a bit more realistic. Like some of the things I can question though are things like like the signature move and the finisher. Although that's pretty good, it is quite a devastating combo though. If you get your signature and then you can almost guaranteed hit your finisher. Like for example, an example of this is like John Cena. If he hits like the 5 knuckle shuffle, then he hits that. He doesn't immediately go into the attitude adjustment like immediately afterwards. It's pretty stupid that it would go into that, or the STFU, but the STF. Like stuff like that there is a bit confusing. One of my major problems is the kick out system. Because what happens in most of the other games was you would mash buttons until you would kick out. And I think that's a more viable answer, because if you've been playing this for quite a long, like if you've been playing a really long match, your fingers will eventually get a bit stiff and stuff, and you wouldn't really be capable of doing that, so you'll get a bit tired. And if they do a lot of damage to you and then hit you with like a finisher, then if they go for the pin, you'll have to like mash buttons. But if you're not fast enough, you'll get the 3 count. If you are fast enough, then you're just about out. But whether you can have a bar or not, there are some games that you had a bar that you had to go past. Some of the games, some of the games didn't show the bar, so you just had to mash and hope for the best. But I'm not sure which one's better. But the one that they used in WWE 12 was like a little line bar, where if you hold A, then you have to stop at a certain blue region. I really don't like that because of a few reasons. Number one, some of it is so flippin' ridiculous. Like the blue line could be like the blue area could be like a line literally, and you have to hit it like a perfect accuracy. In which case like there's no way you're getting up from that, which is annoying. Whereas like if you're mashing buttons, there's always a chance that you'll kick out of it. But if you have something like that there, and how the heck are you supposed to actually hit it? It's pretty stupid. Another thing it's pretty silly, is that under most circumstances you'll get like 1 counts and not even 1 counts. Like if the blue region's not really that high, like in normal WWE matches, they'll at least get a 2 count before you kick out. Whereas if someone hits you with a finisher, it's not really likely that in a WWE match, if they pin you and they only get like a 1 count, that wouldn't really work. Like if Randy Orton hits you for like an RKO and then puts you and then he goes for the pin, it's very unlikely that he's just gonna get a 1 count, especially if it's like really late into the match. That's another example of like the Edge versus John Cena match. Like it was another match we played. It was like a TLC match. I hit him with John Cena hit me with an attitude adjustment through a table. Then he went for the pin and he only got 1 count, and I was like, that's a bit weird. Like obviously I'm not gonna let him get 2 counts, as then I could potentially lose. But I mean it's kind of a stupid idea. In replacement for that, you've got the flipping your breaking point submissions are now mashing buttons, which I think is pretty stupid as well, because I think it should have been the other way around. Like mashing buttons for kick out and submission, you had to like get it in like an area. I think another wrestling games that was what it was like, apart from 2008 where I had that woeful analog stick turning lockpick stupid game. So that isn't exactly the best thing you could do for a game like this. So overall, like, I think what you could have done with the submission is maybe add 2 bars, or like maybe for each trigger. 1 bar could be if you really want to focus on actually breaking out of the submission, and 1 bar should be for like slowly crawling towards the ropes for like a rope break. Because you see that a lot on WWE matches around whenever they like, crawl towards the ropes. So like some of the stuff that they have there is a bit questionable. Other stuff like stupid endings to matches. For example, like somebody hits you with like a suplex and then pins you and they get the 3 count. That's pretty stupid. Like I remember in one of DSP's videos with John Rambo, he done like Randy Orton versus Stone Cold, and Randy Orton hit him with an RKO, went for the pin and only got a 2 count because it was 2 computers, so obviously they're not gonna kick out at one. And then as a reversal, Stone Cold like tripped up Randy Orton's leg, went for the pin and got the 3 count, and I'm like, well, that's pretty stupid. Like if you're gonna end a match, at least make it like actually viable. Another example is in the Last Man Standing match I was playing. And one of the most stupidest things that ever happened was I hit John Cena with the steel steps, and then at 9 he got up, and then I just like kicked him, and then he fell down, and they stayed down for the 10 count. And I was like, that's such a stupid way to end the match. Like if you're gonna end the match like that, at least like put them through a table or hit them with like 3 finishers. Another thing is I wish there was almost like a mini game. Because in the Last Man Standing match, what happens is you just lie there, and then as soon as you get to 9, you just kind of like roll back up. Whereas in most WWE matches, you kind of like slowly crawl up. And I think that would be a really interesting feature because, I mean, like, it's much more realistic and it actually makes you work harder. Like, you can use that button pressing thing from the Royal Rumble to do that. So, like, those are some pretty odd gameplay mechanics that they have. I think the final gripe I have is with the difficulty, and that is that if it's too easy, you just beat your opponent to a pulp. If it's on medium, it's kind of like you have to reversal a whole bunch of the opponent's stuff, but apart from that, you still beat them to a pulp. On hard, it's pretty much 50-50 between who's going to reversal who, and I notice I'm constantly saying reversal here, I'll get to that in a wee second. And then legend is literally just them beating you to a pulp of, like, and every single time you try to lay out a punch, they'll just reverse it. Now let's talk a little bit about this, because obviously I'm like 22 minutes into it. I want to try and make this video less than 25 minutes so that I won't have to kill myself having to upload it. So let's talk about this for a little second. What happens in this game is that, like, this has been happening for like all wrestling years. I don't really know how you can fix it, but it's pretty annoying. And that's the fact that in a normal WWE game or WWE match, what would happen is you would normally have a very even start where both of the opponents are getting some. Then one of the opponents will beat the other opponent to a complete pulp for about 5 minutes, or at least in a good match, or like for a maximum of 5 minutes, the minimum of like 2. And then the other superstar will get like an advantage, maybe beat him up for like double the amount of time that the other guy did. And then like there'll be like a comeback, and then at the very end there'll be like anticipation as to who can win. That's how a really good WWE match should go. Whereas in games like this here, it's literally just how many times can you reverse the opponent? And it really is kind of annoying because I've tried it on all 4 difficulties. Easy is really like I'm taking this from a realistic viewpoint. Like easy is just downright stupid because what happens in easy is that you would just beat them up and then they wouldn't reversal like anything you do, and you just beat them senseless and not even use any effort, and then like they would fall to like a 3 count after like an arm, like I don't know, after like a random DDT or something, and then pin them. Then that's it. That's another pretty stupid way to end a match, as I said before. Normal is the default difficulty that it's on, and that's kind of interesting because like they do reverse a bunch of stuff, but like I said, in a normal match, it shouldn't be about just because that's what like the first 5 minutes of a match should be, like, or like first 3 minutes of a match should be. Should just be of the opponents, like, you know, reversing each other's moves constantly. And then eventually you'll get to the big periods where somebody just beats the other person to a pulp, and then maybe the other person gets a couple of hits in, but then he just gets beat out immediately. In this game, the problem with like harder difficulties is that they would beat you really hard to a pulp, and then whenever you're lying there, you're like, oh, I'm so injured, like maybe you're bleeding or something. Then they would pick you up, you'd hit them once, and you'd be, yes, this is my comeback. Then you try to hit them again, they'd completely reverse you, and then you're back to square one. And I think that's a really stupid thing that you could do, and the only way you can win is with like a roll-up pin, or a random attack out of nowhere. Like, it's really stupid. Like, some of the difficulty issues there, like reversing. Reversing's fine. DSP said it was a complete failure, or like of having a trigger. I don't think it's that bad, but like like I said, some of the stuff is absolutely shameful. That it takes you forever before you can actually make something happen, and even then, like on legend difficulty, it's so hard to get a signature or finisher, because you're sitting there for ages getting beaten, and then you're trying to find an opening, but whenever you do find an opening, boom, just closed down. So overall, right, just to sum it up, because we're just hit 25 minutes, flip me. So just to sum it up, a pretty good career mode. Gameplay runs quite smoothly, and they did fix a lot of stuff, and the matches do run quite well. The cons are some pretty bizarre, match thing. Oh yeah, a lot of creation as well as in the pros that you get. So much creation in it, and the ability and the WWE universe to stimulate the what do you call it? Simulation mode. That's always a good thing. Bad things are questionable game mechanics, which is whenever nothing comes your way, or the weird pinfall types of stuff. Other little random tweaks such as another little random con. This is a very small one, but the fact that some of the audience boo. If I'm doing a story mode, then someone I want to pull as a face will always get booed, which is kind of annoying. But that's just a little side thing. Anyway, WWE 12 is a pretty good game if you want to pick it back up. Sorry about that they're ranting about some of the bad stuff, but the bad stuff does need some explanation, which is why it kind of took quite a while to go over it. So anyway, guys, 26 minutes long. It's pretty long, but if you really want to know what happens in WWE 12, it's a pretty good game. So anyway, Dawggone Truth, episode 3. An actual video game review, and I'll probably get another video game review in at some point. This is going to take a bomb to upload. I don't want it to hit 27 minutes. Anyway, guys, WWE fans will enjoy this game. If you haven't been a fan of WWE for quite a while, pick this game up. It'll be worth your time. Anyway, guys, Pdaaaawg, see ya.